We are back here at Liberty Wall Covering, and Erin and I are talking to Cathy Ulmer, Ulmer's Pharmacy, and we're talking about random stuff today because we literally have covered a 15-minute gamut of everything from
all over the map.
Insurance to healthcare to Medicare to do you have a primary care doctor?
Yes.
And it all comes back to you, Cathy Ulmer, at Ulmer's Pharmacy, because I think we all had so many questions. If we don't have a primary care doctor, you know, if you don't have insurance and I come to you, how do you navigate all of this?
I feel like you just described a day of my life.
Well, that's probably very true.
I mean, those questions are probably asked every day at my job, and it's not an easy answer to that question because insurance right now is it can either be, you either fall somewhere where it's affordable or you're just above and it's really just outrageous.
Correct. And you taught us that health insurance is different than
prescription insurance.
Correct.
Right. So you have to be careful because you may have a deductible for both your medical and your prescriptions. So it's really knowing what your plan offers and what it covers. Like for me, I fell into an issue with my insurance this year that I didn't have my kids on my insurance, and when I added my kids, their pediatrician wasn't in network.
Oh my gosh.
And you know, so those things are just so important to, even if you don't think your kids are gonna be on your insurance, maybe address what doctors your whole family sees in case in the middle of the year something changes.
Well, I remember sitting in your office back in the back and you taking me I had just started with Medicare and you were like, okay, A, B, you know, here's this, no, you've got to get this and you need this.
Yes. And you mentioned concierge as another option, which I didn't even know about that.
Right, so a lot of doctors now, because again, there's a real big squeeze on healthcare, like reimbursements. I know I tell y'all about it all the time.
Sure.
So a lot of doctors are finding, just like us as pharmacists, that we're not getting reimbursed very well, or it's taking a long time, and that affects cash flow. So a lot of doctors want to offer good care.
Right.
And so they're just going concierge, which is kind of like you pay a fee at the beginning of the year, which can vary greatly.
And see, that's what I do. I have my primary care doc.
Yeah.
I pay him a fee, and then if I get sick on a Saturday or a Sunday, or if I need something, he'll call Cathy right away and say, here's what you need. And so it's kind of old-fashioned medicine, if you will.
Right. It's kind of like going back to like your independent doctors. Are, instead of being able to afford a practice, they're just going concierge. So they're just not accepting insurance, and they're just taking like out-of-pocket kind of paying, giving you a standard fee so you can see them throughout the year, and then they kind of become your personal doctor.
And it's a good time to think about this
It
because
is.
I think a lot of people are sick right now.
A lot of people are sick, and a lot of people can't afford insurance. And so that could be an option, because for something like $1,500 a year versus like $800 a month, if they can't afford it, it gives them an option.
What about from a pharmaceutical point of view? If I come in with or without insurance, how does that work at the pharmacy?
So in general, like you bill insurance, your prescription insurance. So some people don't even have prescription insurance, so to get these little discount cards.
Is that when you ask for a generic version?
Well, yeah, usually. And so like at our store, we offer an in-house discount program.
Okay.
Other places have discounts. A lot of times we're finding now that even our prices are lower than some of the insurance copays. So it's always good to ask, like, hey, if that's $30, what would it be if I used your discount program?
And it was interesting because I went in for my flu shot, and once I'm in your system, you did all the work. You gave me the shot, but you did all the billing.
Yep, I billed your insurance, and probably like 98% of insurances cover your flu shot 100%.
Pharmacists were mixing medicine. There's a lot more to it.
Yeah, all day long,
much more.
and all the questions we get,
so you're
because
really
we are
advocating for the patient.
Yes, and we're accessible, so they can ask those questions, or we can find the answers for them.
I actually like what you said. You're an advocate.
Yes.
I mean, that makes so much sense.
We know nothing.
No. And I think you guys are such a resource. It's pretty incredible.
And because we have the knowledge of, like, doctors don't typically have the knowledge of what things cost. So when you come to us, we can be like, okay, that's a brand, but there's a generic alternative, or let's look at other options, even in the sense of like taking 2 of a lower dose versus 1 of a higher dose. For whatever reason, that would save you money.
This is really interesting, and the next time we get together, let's remember this. I'd love to talk next time you come on about the difference between a brand and a generic.
Right.
I think that would be a really interesting discussion. As always, Cathy, great to see you. Stay with us. There's more to come here on Carolina Women.